us for more on what the significance of today's Pran Pratishtha ceremony means, with us is Amogh Lila Das. He's the Vice President of ISKCON Dwarka. Thank you so much, Swami Amogh Lila, for joining us this evening. And let me begin by asking you, today's Pran Pratishtha ceremony, it's not just about one temple's consecration. There's so much attached to this, and which is why you're seeing the outpouring of response from across the country and perhaps across the world even. What is the importance that you attach with today's ceremony? Amogh Lila Das.
Okay, so Pran Pratishtha is a very important ceremony. Pran Pratishtha means we invoke the presence of the Lord in the deity. So deity can be carved by the sculptor, but Lord has to be present. So that's why devotees from the core of their hearts, they invoke the presence of the Lord in that particular deity, and then Lord is present there. So there are various expansions of God, but we can't really reciprocate with the Lord, because for example, Lord is there in the heart as super soul as well. But the soul and super soul can't really interact. So that's why Lord, out of mercy, comes in a very special form known as a deity. D-E-I-T-Y. I don't call it idol. Sometimes people call it, okay, idol is getting consecrated. But the right word is deity. That means the Lord is there. So statue or idol, they are dead actually. Just like Statue of Liberty is there. But Statue of Liberty doesn't have the liberty to go out of the Staten Island. But the deities are living. They reciprocate with the person. So when we have Pran Pratishtha, so there is proper ceremony. Actually, in fact, it is a 5-day ceremony. And then there is yagya, there are prayers, there are mantras, recitation. And then from the core of the heart, when out of devotion, when devotees call out the presence of the Lord in the deity, then the Lord is present there. And there have been many stories that how Lord reciprocates with the devotees. So whether Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna, Lord Narayan, Lord Ram, or Shaligram Shilas, so they are there and they reciprocate. So Pran Pratishtha is done. Pran really doesn't mean, just like we have Pran, so that kind of Pran. But it is basically invoking the presence of the Lord. Although Lord is present everywhere. Somebody can say, how come you are installing God? God is everywhere. God is omnipresent. Yes, God is omnipresent. In the form of super soul, He is everywhere as Paramatma. That is a feature of the Lord. His expansion, His energies. But Lord also has His own personal identity. So Lord Ram, in His personal identity being present there, so we invoke the presence of the Lord in the deity, so that there can be further more exchanges, prayers, offerings, and all that they can happen. And more we spiritually grow, more we see divinity in the deity, more we are neophyte in our spiritual understanding, more we see deity as a stone, as a marble, as wood, and that's it. So this is Jalamaya consciousness, which is very basic consciousness. We see the deity only as Jal Padarth, that means dead matter. Then there is Manomaya, that we have some conviction, and then there is Chinmaya, that means we see the deity as divine, that yes, it's an expansion of the Lord. Lord is mercifully present here, so that with these biological eyes, I can see the divine form of the Lord. So that's the deity, and the process is known as Pran Pratishtha.
Right. I also want to draw your attention to the fact that Prime Minister today said that Ram Mandir Bharat ki drishti ka, Bharat ke darshan ka, Bharat ke digdarshan ka mandir hai, and also the context in which Ram as an idea is not limited to India but across the world. And the question that would be in many minds is whether this Ram Mandir would in many ways establish his values as India's values across the world. Your thoughts on that?
Yes. Absolutely. In fact, Lord Ram was being worshipped, admired all across the globe. In fact, in Egypt, the king's names used to be Ramsay, Ramsay 1, Ramsay 2, Ramsay 3. It used to be there. There are many carvings of Lord Ram, Hanumanji. They are then in Egyptian culture. In fact, in Iraq and Iran, there are carvings. So there also we see that the Lord Ram was being worshipped. In fact, there are 2 versions of Ramayana also in Japan. There is in Indonesia, they have a book known as Ramakirti, which means Ram ki Kirti, basically, the glories of Lord Sri Ramchandra. And every year they have drama performing the Ram Lila. It's there in Malaysia, Indonesia, it's happening there. In fact, in Lahore, which is coming in the dynasty further of Lord Ramchandra of Love and Kush, it's Love Lahore. It is in the lineage of love. In fact, the Rome, which is capital of Italy, was named on the day of Ram Navami. Just like we have NASA becomes nose in English, so Ram became Rome there. And the opposite of that is Ravenna city. That means in case somebody doesn't belong to Ram, then opposite to that is Ravenna, which is Ravana basically. And in fact, there is one river in Russia, and the name of the river is Sita. So that's also there. So we see that Lord Ram has already impacted all across the globe his values, his purity and devotion unto him. Of course, later on some other civilization took over as the culture went down. So some civilization was there, but yes, Lord Ram has already impacted all across the globe, and we see that this Ram Lala's deity installation is being celebrated all across the globe. I saw some of the posters on LED screens. I saw some of the posters as well where Lord Ram is being honored, that yes, Lord Ram is coming in Ayodhya. So whether it's USA or European countries, I saw so many different kind of posters and presentations and animations where people are celebrating Ram Lalaji's deity installation. So it is not just a Hindu festival, not just an Indian festival. I think entire globe is celebrating. So that way we are unified by the mercy of Lord Shri Ram on this special occasion.
There's another very important message coming in from the Prime Minister where he says, Ram aag nahi urja hai. He says, Vivad nahi samadhan hai. Vartaman nahi anant kal hai. The question that arises out of what the Prime Minister said, and he was of course addressing those who in the past have expressed fears as to what would happen if a Ram temple was built, a very, very important statement in that light coming in from the Prime Minister himself, who has played such an important part in today's ceremony. How do you see that message?
Of course, it's a very relevant message. Like say, for example, there is a conflict between higher caste and lower caste. But we see Lord Ram embraces everyone. He also tastes the fruits offered by Shabri. She is tasting it and giving it to Lord Shri Ram, and Lord Ram is honoring it. There is Nishad Raj. Nishad Raj also gave him the dress when he was going for exile, and then he embraced Nishad Raj, and then he said, I would never say that I have got and that we are 4 brothers. Now we are 5 brothers. You are also my brother. So Uchi Jati, Nichi Jati, higher caste, lower caste is completely destroyed by the personal behavior and reciprocations of Lord Shri Ramchandra. So in that way we see that there is no vivad. In fact, there is samadhan in the character of Lord Shri Ramchandra. So in his army also we see that all kinds of people are there. Even monkeys are there in his army. Wow. So Lord Ram takes everyone. In fact, entire Ramayana is full of sacrifices for each other. And that makes Ramayana so beautiful. Dashrath wants to sacrifice for Ram. Ram sacrificed for Dashrath. Bharat is sacrificing for Ram. Shatrughan is sacrificing for Bharat. Urmila is sacrificing for Lakshman. Lakshman is sacrificing for Ram. Everyone is sacrificing for each other. Wow. What a culture it is. So that's why, in case you want to unify everything and have no vivad, but have happy and healthy samvad and reach happy conclusions, good conclusions, then of course Lord Ram's pastimes and his leelas are so relevant for everyone. Perfect dealings, perfect reciprocations, exchanges, relationships. That's what Ramayana is all about.
Very interesting that you mentioned sacrifice, because the Prime Minister invoked Lord Hanuman. He also talks about Jatayu in the context of the sacrifices, and also in terms of the, the role that he sees for all citizens. And very interestingly, he says that when he was standing at Dhanush Kodi, at the edge of the Ram Setu, he says that it was also a time of a Kal Chakra. And he says he feels that this is another Kal Chakra that we are currently going through. In terms of the epochal nature, the historic nature of this event, and in context of the Prime Minister's Kal Chakra comments, what are your thoughts?
Yes, of course, it's a Kal Chakra. And we see there are 3 gunas, Satogun, Rajogun and Tamogun. Sometimes tamasic powers also come to surface. It's Kal Chakra. But now sattvic powers, the powers full of divinity, they are also coming to surface. So Kal Chakra is there. We see that sometimes negative powers, they come to surface. But yes, but some minority part in Kal Chakra is assigned to them. Primarily it is piety which rules. Like we see the duration of Satyuga is much more. Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. Kali Yuga is actually shortest in among all the 4 ages. So Kal Chakra is there. So that means we see that now it's a starting of new age. So we can say today is actually Happy Deepavali, because when Lord Ram arrives from Lanka to Ayodhya, that is Deepavali. So Lord Ram is arriving to his temple, so that is it is Deepavali, and it's also Happy New Year. It's Happy New Year because it's not just the start of New Year, it's the starting of new age altogether, where people are more conscious of God, people are more religious, spiritual, vegetarian, contributing, togetherness. So that's what's coming up. So that is, it's a starting of the new age. So so this temple is really is going to be very historic, and we are very fortunate that we are the spectator of this spectacular event.
Right. And very interesting in context of the Ram Sabke Hai comments and the universal relevance of Ram. How would you like to tell our viewers in terms of how individuals, regardless of their religious affiliations, can draw inspiration from the life and teachings of Lord Ram for their personal growth and moral development?
Yeah, if you see the teachings of Lord Sri Ramchandra and the way he has exchanges with everyone, he does not discriminate. There's no such thing, where Ram is telling Hanuman, oh Hanuman, because you are Hindu, so I love you so much. It's not like that. He even loves Vibhishan, who is from a demoniac clan. Whether Jamanji, who is a bear, externally speaking, if you see, then there is Vanar army. So that is Lord Ram takes everyone together. So that's why there is no cult formation when it comes to Lord Sri Ramchandra, that this is a Ramji associated cult. No, it is not a cult. Lord Ram takes whole world as his family, irrespective of the species, the background. He does not take that into consideration at all. So we see that togetherness is there in Lord Sri Ramchandra. He binds everyone together. He's so loving and he's so warm. He's so merciful, so graceful, so forgiving in his character that everyone feels like naturally drawn towards Lord Sri Ramchandra. So that way we see that as soon as there is Lord in the center, then everything is unified. Just like on a river, if he throws stones on different parts of the river, so then the ripples, they collide with each other. But in case there is a common center, then the ripples, they are heightened by each other. So when we have the common center, Lord Sri Ram, Lord Sri Krishna, common center, so then we contribute each other. Yes, the waves are of greater amplitude. But when we are having our own ego centers, then there are clashes. So let's have one common center, Lord Sri Ram, and then that life is perfect. No cult formation, we are together in a family. No unch neech, up and down, high caste, lower caste, this and that, conflicts and all that. No self-centeredness, no egocentricity. God is in the center.
Right. Very interesting that you also mentioned a little while earlier about the historical context of how Ram is worshipped across the world. But do you see this as a turning point? Because next month we're going to look at how in Abu Dhabi the BAPS temple is to be inaugurated. And also, do you see this as a new inflection point in terms of the advent of Hinduism and the Sanatan way of life?
Yes, absolutely. Like in Middle East and Saudi Arabia, now they have 5 cities, Hind 1, Hind 2, Hind 3, Hind 4, Hind 5. Wow, that's so nice. So it's the beginning. That means some of the people, in case, some people are very extremist in their standpoint, but now they are becoming more flexible, more approachable, and they are appreciating Lord Sri Ramchandra. On Burj Khalifa, we are saying Lord Sri Ramchandra. Very good. New Zealand Prime Minister, in case he is here, and he is also congratulating everyone, and then he is saying Jai Shri Ram. So that's very good. Actually, so all across the globe, people are uniting together, and even great bureaucrats, ministers, they are wishing each other. They are wearing a scarf with Lord Sri Ramchandra printed onto it, and they are wishing each other happy Deepavali, or say, or congratulations on the arrival of Ram Lalaji in Ayodhya. So this is unification. We are feeling that whole world is getting unified, being united, but God being the center, as I mentioned.
Right. The last few days in the Prime Minister, when I was on his Anushtan, we saw him visit several important places which have significance in the Ramayana, whether it's Nasik, whether it's Lepakshi, whether it's Triprayar, whether it is Rameshwaram, whether it is Srirangam. The interesting aspect of this, of the Prime Minister's visit, is that while, we are divided in terms of states, in terms of geography, language, etc., there is one common thread that ties up as far as Ramayana is concerned, and whichever part of the country one may belong to, this is one thing that runs common towards most of India. And that's a very interesting message that the Prime Minister was sending out as well.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, we got water from all the holy rivers all across the India. We brought, in fact, we also got the sand or the Raj from the holy places, all the holy places in India, even from the oceans, different kind of oceans, the water was being brought. So that way we see that even territorial perspective, if you see, then it's a unification of everything. So whenever somebody looks at a Ram Mandir, the person would feel that yes, here is one more emblem of unity. So Ram Mandir, that way is very important. So what Narendra Modi said, that how the world is getting unified by this temple, is very true.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, Amogh Lila Das, if I can request you to share with us a rendition of your favorite Ram bhajan, if you could share with us, if I can request you for that.
Okay, recently I recorded one bhajan, Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana, so I'll just sing maybe a couple of lines of this song. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Navakanjalochana Kanja Mukha Kara Kanja Pada Kanjarunam Shri Ram, Shri Ram Kandarpa Aganita Amita Chavi Navanila Nirada Sundaram Patapita Manahu Tadita Ruchi Shuchi Naumi Janaka Sutavaram Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. So these two paragraphs I sang. Of course, the song is a little longer, but yes, it's already there on YouTube. Many other great singers have also sung the song. So my humble rendition in the service of Sri Ram.
No, it was very beautiful. I'd like to thank you, in fact, for singing, and thank you for your rendition. And just before before we wrap up this interview, there's been a lot of revival. You know, the kind of bhajans that we've seen the last few days. Some of them been tweeted by the Prime Minister, etc. There's been so many. Big celebrities' faces who've been visiting Ayodhya today for the Pran Pratishtha. Many see this also as a clear sign of the kind of impact such a huge event has had as far as the people of India are concerned. How do you view this?
Yes. This is really fantastic. Usually it is seen that those who are from rich class, they don't exhibit any kind of spirituality. Why? Because they are lost in their own world, or there is pride because we are from high class society. This bhakti, bhajan and all that, oh well, that's for low class people. Those who are not so educated, illiterate, they do all of these bhajans and all that. They don't have anything to do, that's why. This is the impression. But now it is changing. Whether somebody is from the poverty section or middle class or high class society, everyone is now unified because they all are coming to Ayodhya Dham. Whether some of them even walking. I came to know one person, he came from Lucknow to Ayodhya, which is like 120 kilometers. Wow. So there are a lot of emotions behind this temple. There have been so many people who have contributed in various ways. In fact, there were ladies, during Kar Sevak time, they would tell their husbands, please wipe out this vermilion, this sindoor, because I know since you are going for this seva to protect Lord Sri Ramchandra's temple, you may not come back. So please wipe it out. There have been communities who have been sleeping on floor from 500 years, waiting that one day this temple would manifest. There have been communities who have not worn the turban, the pagadi, which is a shine, which symbolizes that how the pride of their dynasty. But they said, okay, no more pagadi till the time Ram Lila Ji's temple manifests. So 500 years of no wearing of pagadi, no wearing of turban, no respect for us because we are waiting for Sri Ram to come. So behind all of this, great emotions are there. And now all of this is happening, that now finally after 500 years, after so many generations, now there is a community which now sleeping on bed now and not on floor, and ladies are still remembering their husbands whom they lost during the struggles during 90s for the temple, and more than 1 lakh Ram Bhaktas have given their lives for this beautiful, gorgeous, divine temple. So a lot of emotions are there, and people have given from their own salary, even from pocket monies. There are youngsters who from their pocket monies have contributed for the temple. So the feelings behind this temple is really immense and very divine, very deep and worshipable indeed.
Absolutely. But Swami Amogh Lila Das, I must ask you this question because, today as well as the last several days, we've seen several political leaders, particularly from the opposition, come out to say that this Ram Temple Pran Pratishtha ceremony being organized as an event where the government is taking part in it as well, is against the concept of a secular India as envisaged in our constitution. What would you say to those who are repeatedly expressing these views?
Well, it is really hilarious indeed, because secular in terms of definition is equal respect for all religion. But in execution it becomes no religion, which is very strange. In case somebody is actually secular, should come to this festival, of course, because secular doesn't mean becoming an atheistic person, becoming a hedonistic person, becoming a godless person. No, of course not. So that's why those who are saying no to Ram Mandir, somewhere they are, they are receiving curses from such people, and somewhere they are insulting the sacrifice of all those whose emotions are connected to this temple. And to say that, we will not come to Ram Mandir and all that. We see that from such political parties, the other members are saying, why our HOD is saying so? We want to go to Ram Mandir temple inauguration. It is going to be once in a millennium. Why is this so? So we see that in the party itself, there is disintegration. There is difference of opinion. So that's why everyone, they want to come for this very special event. It is going to be once in a lifetime. It's not going to happen again and again. It's not like that. So that's why those who are saying so, it's very, very unfortunate that they are missing this event on because they are being politically influenced. It is not a political event. It's a spiritual event. It's a religious event. It's a pure event of devotion. So even if somebody can't see that, that shows dullness of head. It's very unfortunate. We pray that may God give them some intelligence, and they take blessings of Ram Lala ji. Lord Ram may bless them, give them some intelligence, and let them not waste their human form of life in such stupid, idiotic, baseless, fruitless, crazy discussions and conclusions which are politically motivated. There's no devotion in it, and that's why they are so dry. What they speak is so dry, the way they act is so dry. So all prayers for such unfortunate souls.
All right, Swami Amogh Lila Das, I'd like to thank you so much for joining with us and sharing with us your perspective on the historic Pran Pratishtha ceremony that has taken place earlier today.